So for part of the illusion on me as a TI is that my cones and rods can be manipulated, and then so can the environment. And like the front of my television or computer can be manipulated, and then it can go sort of live. Places can be deep captured. Anywho, um, squirrel today, who I talked about disclosing and admired as part of the biosphere out here in Oregon. Plants trees. Um, Talking about the Fusion Center FBI using satanic mimicry against me so that maybe folks in the infraguard that have really committed treason against myself and my family are slow killing us. Ironically enough, like mimic me and then I guess somehow worship this thing. I don't know. The sender receiver relationships between people's brains are really exploited. I'm exploited extremely as a TI. But this squirrel was trying to disclose. He was careful not to call me God, which is one of the offenses in all of this. None of us are God, nor is anybody at Command Central or in the Electric Corps or a community-based agent or a talking squirrel or me. It's not S-O-N, it was S-U-N, and it sounds the same. And you think that would be distinguishable. You think that that wouldn't be enough to fool people that were uneducated in astrophysics. But that's really it. It rises every day, and you revolve around it. And I want to leave Earth after death. And it looked like I saw something. Mr. John Lear has put out some videos recently. My connections are kind of screwed up. I've been learning about psychopaths, enabled by the tech in part. But no, yeah. So in the EMF sub-reality, like there's somebody meeting me at speed of thought and mimicking me, and then like all those people that are in the infraguard raping and pillaging from it, committing September the 11th, destroying TI's lives. Ironically, in a twist, they're diabolical how to really use up the TI. I have mimics at speed of thought that they like worship, that they have the R&M for of these people that are committing treason against me and my family. But that's another way to sort of rub it in, and ways to try to treat it so that I like already died. I don't want any sender-receiver relationships with my brain. My cousin got in a wreck. She totaled a car that could have been gang stalking related. My parents are getting older, and they're gang stalked. My aunts are getting older, and two of them are gang stalked. One so severely it's hard to hear her report what's being done to her in LA. And all those people that moved to LA that are getting broadcast and in Seattle. And there's so many folks that are broadcast in Oregon that are doing like low-level crimes, and the judge says they need to go to the state hospital. There's like not enough room in the state hospital, at least by some of the Ninth District Court news that I've read. It's quite a design disaster, and it would end a lot of suffering to end these broadcasts. And nobody in my intelligence outfits, nobody in, Homeland Security, nobody in the B system seems to agree with me and 1.5 million Americans being tortured by this technology, mind and body raped, and then my identity is stolen. So there's like kind of soul rape too, and they rub it in. But the squirrel was trying to make sure that, along with not having any constitutional rights or Bill of Rights, the admiration that I would normally have is being misdirected through satanic mimicry at speed of thought, specifically as part of the eugenics agenda. It looks like by appearance I can't even have my own Instagram account. All that shit gets misdirected and whatnot, and I, die a slow death every day because somebody got a hard-on in the Secret Service who had access to the targeted individual list and destroyed a whole genetic line that goes back sometime in the leadership in this revolving rock of horseshit. So it's not just a delicatessen out here. The Black Swiss cheese hole exit portals into non-reincarnation. But you probably have to go through the EMF. They don't. They're trying to say that they thought that there was no transference of consciousness because they don't see it from the EMF when people die. They can transfer their consciousness with that headgear, but believe because they can't see it in the EMF, like there's no life after death. Which, if there is, like I have a plan to get out of, perpetual reincarnation at the moon. So I'm curious to see what John Lear, who's been at TI since the 80s, had to say recently as I'm tortured here. People so misled, they don't say what they really mean. NLP, neurolinguistic programming, secret surveillance, cults, crooked cops, international mind control agendas, that I lose. I am a huge loser for even incarnating. Sparring arhut, meaning no love at the end of life, with anticipations and manipulations of things like artificial sense of love, like that whole white tunnel thing that could probably morph into just about anything, and the weaponized holographics of it, gets the left hand of judgment, figuratively. And I'm left-handed, and I had some great executive function and judgment prior to becoming a whipping boy for the intelligence community. Every 15 to 20 seconds, I hear NLP. So there's no such thing as God, and I'm not your son, and it's the S-U-N, not S-O-N, and I mean that's literally it. And they've been fucking with people for 2019 years. And there's no such thing as heaven. You get reincarnated to the moon, you just don't remember. So, and there could be states of bliss on Earth, even in the EMF or whatnot, but I'm denied that because my country said, we're going to protect the world and, kill a lot of people and throw them into black sites, and we're going to throw that guy in a black site too. So I am curious to see what Mr. Lear, his video is before he plans to jet the fuck out of here too, because he knows what he's talking about. He's my elder on a lot of subjects, so. And no, I don't want to meet your daughter, so. Fuck you, Earth.